Hi, I'm Joe Mozden Jr., CEO of Global Learning Exchange and chairman of the board at the World Innovative Learning. And throughout my career, I've had the privilege of leading organizations across sectors like technology, data analytics, higher education. And the goal was always driving growth through strategic change and data-driven leadership. And I've also worked closely with boards of all shapes and sizes. And the one pattern I've consistently seen is this. Way too many boards are stuck in what I'd call reporting mode. They're reviewing what happened rather than influencing what should happen next. And so I would love to share with you how I think about shifting boards from sort of this passive reporting to active decision making. So the first thing is you got to redefine the role of the board. Boards shouldn't just be observers. They have to be your strategic partners. And so to shift this mindset, the board's role must be reframed. Move away from oversight only and build a culture of accountability and then ownership. And this all starts by setting very clear expectations around the outcomes, not just for the updates. So for example, instead of reviewing a marketing report, ask instead, what decisions are we making today that will move the strategy forward? My second point would be bring decision-ready data, not just the metrics. One of the reasons boards default to reporting, it's because they're overwhelmed with data that's not actionable. It already took place. So transform how you present your information. So instead of pages of KPIs, distill insights to a few critical questions tied to the business outcomes. Think dashboards with clear recommendations like, hey, here's what's happening, here's why it matters, and here's what we need to decide. And the great thing about this is this approach respects their time, and then also it just elevates that conversation from being data sharing to driving action. The third point for me would be structure meetings around your strategic priorities. Too often, as I said, these agendas are packed with updates. You got to flip that. How do you do it? Well, design board meetings to prioritize your decisions. So that means carving out time for very key initiatives and aligning those board conversations to your strategic roadmap. So, the numbers I'd throw around, I'd say devote about 70% of the meeting to forward-looking discussions, new markets, capital strategy, maybe it's digital transformation, and limit reporting to directly what informs those topics. And here's another tip that I use all the time. Share the data reporting stuff in advance of the meeting. And not only share it, but then make it clear to your board that it's their responsibility to review that data prior to the board meeting. Then you can use just a small part of your board meeting to answer any questions that arose from that advanced packet. And it leaves the majority of the time for the really important stuff. And this focus turns meetings into working sessions, which is where you want to be operating, not just status reporting. Last point, you also have to build the right board composition, right? You have to ensure your board has the skills and the mindset needed to drive the decisions you're looking for and to match your strategy. And that might mean bringing in individuals with, maybe it's operational experience, or digital transformation backgrounds, or change management expertise. The type of people who know how to challenge assumptions and then move pretty quickly. Because at the end, diverse expertise leads to richer conversations and much better outcomes. And I've seen just too many boards that are just, they're deep in one area. That's not going to help you. So you've got to fix that. And to that point, it's been my experience that when you go to fix the board, make changes, that the vast majority of board members are very selfless And they're selfless even about stepping down from the board when they understand that your goal is to create more skill diversity on the board to ultimately better help your company. So let me wrap it up with this. To shift your board from sort of reporter making to decision making, you need to redefine the roles. You got to deliver decision ready made insights. You got to get the reporting out in advance, structure your meetings around strategy, and build the right team at the table. Because when boards lead with action, not just analysis, they will become your catalyst for growth. Love to chat today. I wish you the best of luck. And if you have any questions, reach out to me.